Welcome to the podcast. I'm May.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ben, and we were ad.
Can you believe it?
There are twists and there are turns.
Defleshed is a standard death.
Oh, that's fun.
We were had.
We were.
Okay, so we're sticking with the Halloween theme. This one's got a very loose theme, though. Very loosely tied to Halloween. See if you can spot it. Keep your eye out.
Okay.
Here's the beginning. On October 31st.
Halloween!
On October 31st, Ronald Sisman was with his girlfriend, 20-year-old Elizabeth Platzman, when they were attacked at his home. Sisman was a 39-year-old photographer who lived in a duplex apartment on the third floor of a building in the Chelsea section of Manhattan.
Nice neighborhood.
Nice. Back then, though, probably bad.
81.
In
Yeah,
first of all, the
probably
80s,
bad.
everywhere was bad. Like, I think Chelsea, like, downtown was like, oh, no.
I can imagine
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, close to meatpacking. Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
He was a rather prolific lensman who operated 2 photography businesses out of his house. Ron and Elizabeth were brutally beaten and then shot in the back of their heads. Ron was reportedly shot 4 times, Elizabeth 3 times. The house had been ransacked, and a .25 caliber handgun that was registered to Ron appeared to be missing. Their identification was removed from their bodies. The police speculated that the attacker or attackers might have known Ron since there was no sign of forced entry. Ron had also applied for 2 gun permits because someone had broken into his apartment before and he feared for his safety. The initial investigation leaned towards the possibility that the intruders might have been looking for drugs because the house was turned over and the furniture was torn apart.
Oh.
Okay. So the reason why this is all going to connect to the main part of the story.
Right.
Later on, a prison informant claimed to the police that David Berkowitz, the infamous son of Sam, had told him about the murder before it happened. 1981, David Berkowitz is in jail.
Oh,
It is
that's my next
after
question.
Everything that
Who
happened.
was Son of Sam?
Okay, so I will get into who this guy was.
Okay.
But the main question today, the mystery,
Right.
has less to do with that story, which I just put in because it was Halloween.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's very much related. But
Okay. Is this a riddle? I don't know what's happening.
So that story happened on Halloween, and it begs the main question: did David Berkowitz act alone, or was it part of some larger thing?
Cult.
Yes.
Manson style?
Maybe
Maybe.
even tied to Manson. Yes.
Berkowitz was the head.
No.
Maybe not.
Wow.
I don't
Maybe
think so.
not.
I think he was just a plebe.
He would have been.
Well,
a
who was
pawn.
Sam?
A dog.
What?
Ish.
Yeah.
Ish?
Let's get into it.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Wait, you really don't know about Son of Sam?
I don't know.
All right. So here's the general.
I don't really care for mysteries or true crime.
So, David Berkowitz, who is nicknamed the Son of Sam, born June 1st, 1953 in Brooklyn, New York.
Hey!
We know that place.
baby.
Yay!
Here we go. Also, is he Jewish is like a good question.
What do you mean?
Adopted by a Jewish family, and then, but like was abandoned by his mom when he was basically a baby.
And his mom wasn't Jewish?
No, his mom was also Jewish. So,
So you're just trying to
The
kind
answer
of
would be
clear the
yes.
record here.
He
He's
was
a Jewish
Jewish.
man. Yeah.
American serial killer who murdered 6 people in New York City between 1976 and 1977.
Wow.
And I was talking to my mom about it. Like, this was huge.
Yeah.
If you,
You
live
didn't
in
want to
New
go
York.
outside.
Even outside of New York, my mom
Yeah.
grew up in New Jersey, and she was like, growing up, they were like terrified of
Yeah.
like to be murdered by Sam.
Yeah, it wasn't it like he went after specific hair colors?
You're
What?
not going to like the hair color. Brown.
Brown?
Which you just
Yeah.
got into
I
too.
know,
Yeah.
damn.
With blonde highlights?
It was mainly blonde, although not all his victims were women. He actually killed a few like couples in their car. That seemed to be a
I hate when
thing.
they do that. On Kisser's Lane or whatever.
Yeah.
They always do it like a lover's lake. And
Yeah.
they go up there, the fogged up windows, and they bop, bop, kill.
What is that, a jealousy
Why
thing?
is there-
Stop fucking in this
Yeah,
park.
Teens always get punished for fucking in movies. In
Yeah,
horror
they
movies.
do.
You ever notice that? The sexually promiscuous ones, they get got.
There was also
The
a thing
soonest and the
where
most gruesome.
And yet I got out of high school unscathed.
Well,
Well,
Is pregnant
with HPV
unscathed?
and pregnant. But I did all right.
his first few crimes were women, and then he wrote 2 letters.
Uh-huh.
So he's got a very Zodiac-y feel. He's after Zodiac.
but
Yeah.
what was he Sam? Or was he the son of Sam?
No,
Okay,
the
so
dog is
let's get
Sam.
into the dog. So first, the crimes. His crimes plunged the city into a panic and unleashed one of the largest manhunts in New York City history.
Right.
Berkowitz was a difficult and occasionally violent child. His erratic behavior, which began after the death of his adoptive mother in 1967, intensified when his adoptive father remarried in 1971 and moved to Florida without him. Apparently, bad relationship with the stepmom. Also,
That's insane. How old was he when they just dipped and went to Florida?
teenager.
That's shitty.
In 1971, Berkowitz
And
joined the
excuses.
army. He joined the army and he became an excellent marksman before he left the service in 1974. And I think it was like honorably discharged, like no bad record. According to his diary, he set some 1,500 fires in New York City in the mid 1970s.
Oh my
He
God.
experimented with arson?
Yeah,
Did you say 1,500?
that's what it says on. This was like
Wow.
That's a lot of fires.
Were you guys arson boys?
I like a good fire, but I never lit anything of note on fire.
Oh, okay.
Same. I would
Yeah.
be the same.
Yeah, same boat.
I
Yeah.
dabble.
Yeah, I
But
dabble.
I'm not-
My
We did a
brother-
lot of bonfires in high school.
Yeah, my brother burnt down like a big area.
No, of town?
And then he had to go to fire safety school for years on it. My mom never told me and my sister and was just like, yeah, Ben's going to daycare. And we're like, we know that he's going down to the fucking fire department and learning why he shouldn't lit swatches.
How old is he?
12, 13, something like that. He's
yeah.
like fucking around with my cousin who also went to fire school.
Do the firefighters teach that class?
I think probably like state police and firefighters are just like, this is like, you could have burned down someone's
Oh, I
house
figured
and
them
killed
being
people.
we're busy, we just stop.
Yeah.
Come on, please.
I don't know.
We don't need extra.
I mean, in Sandwich, what are they doing? They probably fight one fire every fucking 10 years.
Yeah,
so
the,
like,
the school was this gym being like, here, use these matches. They'll actually do more damage.
They call it just like the fire of the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, that was the big, claiming he was driven by demons, and that'll come back later, Berkowitz attempted to murder a woman in December 1975, but she survived several stab wounds. He then murdered a woman in July 1976.
Why was he in jail?
He wasn't caught. What do you mean?
Oh, this is just like, he was just doing this.
Dude, the guy wasn't caught for over a year. This
Was
was
he
like
in New York the whole
this was
time?
this was the New York Zodiac, basically.
There are a million cops in the city. And remember that, what was it, the last one? Where the guy, he was found by a bodega worker, and every cop was the subway bombing guy.
oh, yeah.
And he was just freely going about the city.
He
and then
was.
a bodega guy caught him.
I do recall this, yeah.
He got caught by a bodega man. There were like 4,000 cops walking on the
I
street.
will tell you this: the NYPD does not look good by the end of this episode.
What? No!
Well, the thing is that when they caught him,
Yeah.
the NYPD had like big ceremony. They were huge heroes, and they promoted everyone,
Right.
and the mayor was like going ape shit and
Right.
all this stuff. But then, now in retrospect, they may have put some stuff under the rug, or at least not investigated as much as they could have.
Right. You never milk it too hard.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so Berkowitz, first murder. Over the next year, he attacked several couples, claiming 5 more victims. So usually it's 6 dead,
Jeez.
but I think 7 wounded, including one woman who was paralyzed. Like, I mean, he's up.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Nobody damaged in the fires? Was he just practicing?
I think the fires was just like a side note, but
That
you're
was a
right,
hobby.
1,500
It's
is
a
one
lot.
box.
It's a lot.
They might be including like just lighting a
'cause-
cigarette. Yeah.
Because I don't think, it couldn't possibly be 1,500 like lighting a building on fire.
Yeah, you can light a trash can on fire.
You
Yeah.
really light anything.
Yeah, light stuff on fire.
During his killing spree, he sent letters to New York newspapers signing them Son of Sam, a reference to a demon he believed that lived inside the black Labrador Retriever owned by his neighbor Sam Carr. So, first of all, there's Sam. It's confusing because there's Sam Carr, an actual guy named Sam, some old guy, and then, but he thinks there's some like 6,000-year-old demon named Sam in the dog, which was the only reason why I was saying like it's kind of the dog.
So Sam had a dog named that was actually possessed by someone named Sam?
That's how I believe
Well,
that's right.
it's a story so far-fetched that
Must be true. Yeah.
Could
Could be true.
Could be true.
Berkowitz was arrested on August 10th, 1977, 11 days after his last murder. His capture was the result of careful police work, which involved sorting through a confusing maze of reports of suspicious persons, which that part is true.
It was
Like,
bodega work. They got it. Thanks to bodega work.
Ultimately, Berkowitz was identified as the most likely suspect, a theory that was confirmed when his car was found to have received a parking ticket near the scene of one of the shootings. Berkowitz soon confessed, and on May 8, 1978, he pleaded guilty. In June, he was sentenced to 365 years in prison.
Damn.
How much more does he get?
He's still alive. He is still alive.
No.
He is?
Yeah, he's like 70-ish, I want to say.
Whoa, I did not know that.
Oh, that's absurd.
I just assumed he got like the chair, but I guess it's
No.
New
York,
York,
no,
so
no.
they don't do that, yeah.
69. Yeah.
Is it
Still-
on Rikers Island or where is he?
I don't know which jail. But he's definitely
Dude, was
Probably
it you
upstate.
that somebody told us that they're trying to build a jail downtown in Chinatown?
Yes, I think it was Kelly that said
Well, there
that.
already is a jail down there.
What?
There
There's
is?
the Manhattan Correctional Facility.
I had
What?
no idea.
Yeah. I did a set there.
What?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
at the jail.
How'd it go?
Yeah.
Inside
Terrible
the
at
jail?
bombs.
No, really?
Yeah. Rikers is more my scene.
Yeah. the violent effect.
Wait, so you did a set for prisoners?
I did too. I did
Cool.
Rikers and I did MFC.
What?
How'd you get these gigs?
And he goes, who books that?
Yeah, who books
I want to do that.
I want to do that.
I get the girl, Shirley. Sure, I can't remember her name.
Well,
but I can get
don't
your
reveal it for
contact.
everyone.
I don't know if
They're
she
all
does
going to
it.
apply.
Go running.
Damn, that's crazy.
Okay.
Here's the thing with the dog. He said soon after the dog stuff was bullshit. He's gonna say a lot of stuff afterwards, but he said like, yeah, I just made up that story.
Do we have a picture of the black lab? I'd like to see if it was a cute little guy.
I don't know. Okay, so there's a documentary that came out last year called The Sons of Sam, very purposely plural,
Right.
Descent into Darkness. And there was also like a podcast, you know, they do like now 5 things at once or whatever.
Yeah.
The question is, did he act alone? I mean, that's basically the thing.
Right.
So it's really good, by the way. I would recommend it.
Yeah, it's
watched
super
this?
good.
I got into
Yeah,
this.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, you really got into this?
It made,
Oh, yeah.
it made the west side of New York seem very creepy to me. Like
Oh,
the Riverside
yeah.
Park, because like in the documentary they talk about like, because think about it, like normally cults, they're like out in the woods, out in the desert, but this is New York City
Yeah.
cults, so they gotta like hang out in Riverside Park and like all those dark, like abandoned, like kind of catacomby looking
Literally the
areas.
What do they call the
The
cloisters? The cloisters.
like
yeah.
all
Yeah.
there, like
That's
He also
That's
killed.
cool.
I don't know if he ever killed in Manhattan, but he definitely did Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn.
Oh,
so
he really
he's
got
like
around the boroughs.
all over the place.
Certainly not Staten Island. Even the son of Sam wouldn't go to Staten Island.
I don't think he did.
He's scared.
He was caught in
scared.
He was caught in Yonkers, though. That's where he lived.
He got caught in Yonkers.
Yeah, that's where
So
he
he
lived.
moved out to Yonkers?
I think he lived in Yonkers the whole
Oh,
time.
okay.
He commuted. He commuted to work.
That's tough. Good for him.
So to give like a kind of recap of this like 4-part documentary, there was an article that was like the 5 main takeaways from the thing. Okay, so here's kind of the most important. Police refused to interview the real sons of Sam.
Who are the real sons of Sam?
Literally the sons of that dude named Sam.
What?
Oh.
So they lived nearby. And the police, again, going back to this thing, the other little kind of fact that's interesting, the mayor was up for re-election soon after. And I think
Okay.
he lost. But in any case. No, because like this was a thing where it's like the police look great, the
Yeah.
mayor looked great. We
Right,
saved,
right.
And like no one was going out.
Right.
They kept saying all the discos were closed. And like
Not the
everyone's like,
discos.
yeah, that was how everyone reacted. They're
Even
like,
the
yeah.
discos?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have like much going on back then. The discos were hot. The discos were happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Let's
were.
go
I
to
would
a
have
disco.
gone.
Yeah, I'd go right now.
Let's go
There's
right
also-
now. They should have like an old. They should have like a.
What Ethel's on 85th and
Oh,
2nd. It's,
alright.
it's a disco vibe. It's sick.
Let's party there.
I love partying there. Let's go party
Let's do
there.
it.
The
All right,
also-
we're
in
at
the-
I'm gonna scout some victims outside of it while you
Hell
guys are
yeah.
inside dancing.
There was also a thing when they were talking about the discos. You know the song "Staying Alive," like the
Yeah.
most famous disco song.
Is it about
the,
that?
The lyrics to "Staying Alive," if you could look it up, are like about how New York is fucked up in the 70s.
Really?
It's like the most fun, upbeat song,
Yeah.
and it's like
about staying alive during the 70s.
Yes,
That's
yes,
crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so refused to interview the sons of Sam. So the killer famously taunted police and reporters in New York with letters calling himself the son of Sam and other devil-inspired monikers, which inspired the nicknames of the case. Sons of Sam, I guess like Sons of Satan, that was like one kind of thing. The other thing is that people in the military can call the sons of like Uncle Sam.
Oh.
So, because he was a soldier.
Why did
Okay.
they refuse to interview the baby boys next door?
Again, it might be to sweep things under the rug. So, so there's this
That doesn't
guy.
make sense, though.
So there's this guy that's important in the documentary named Maury Terry, and basically we've sort of like encountered people like him. He like dedicated his whole life to figuring this out.
I
That's
remember
incredible.
this.
He
from-
worked at like IBM and then basically switched to becoming an investigative reporter just to figure out what the hell went on.
So
with
this
the son of Sam.
documentary was the best thing that ever happened to him.
He's dead.
What?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Why didn't you say that before?
Why didn't I lie? So Maury Terry.
He wasn't killed by the son of Sam.
No. He was I think smoking related. He was like a big smoker, and that's what the guy.
Well, when you're a detective, you got to be
said.
chain smoking. That's like part of the gig. Right?
Yeah, he was in character.
And he's like not really a detective, so
Yeah.
he's got to do the.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got to overcompensate.
So what he uncovered was that Berkowitz, who was arrested for the killings, lived directly next door to two brothers named John Carr and Michael Carr, who were the real-life sons of Sam Carr. One of Berkowitz's notes, so he wrote two main letters. One of them was to a writer from the Daily News, and they were talking about, this was like a huge news story, and there was a panel TV show where the writer for the Daily News is like basically being ridiculed. It's like, you published it in the newspaper, you didn't give it to the police right away, like how dare you? He's like, I'm a fucking journalist. Like, this is gold. Like, why would I not? So in one of the letters, the nickname, Berkowitz's notes use several other names, thought at the time to be nicknames for the killer, though Terry thought that they were monikers for other accomplices. The list included the Wicked King Wicker and John Wheaties, rapist and suffocator of young girls.
Oh my God.
Both of these could reference the Carr brothers. They lived on Wicker Street in Yonkers, near Berkowitz, and John Carr was nicknamed Wheaties after his sister, Weed Carr. So, like, no one's giving a shit about this. They're not interviewing.
That's crazy.
So the other two could have been criminals doing their own thing the whole time.
They might have. So basically, their own thing, meaning it might have been related.
Related, but like, was there like bad stuff happen to girls around there that time as well?
Well, they're saying that not extra crimes. They're saying that they had a big part in the Son of Sam crimes. Both brothers also remarkably resembled early police sketches of the killers, and if you look at the documentary, they do much more than Berkowitz.
Whoa!
Yeah. But despite
Are these people dead now? The two brothers?
Oh yeah. But despite these clues, police never followed up with the Carr family. The brothers both died under mysterious, accidental, in quotes, circumstances years after the killings, which increased Terry's suspicions that they were involved with the crimes and were killed for knowing too much. In interviews with Terry long after the case was closed and both Carr brothers were dead, Berkowitz said that the Carrs were accomplices in his crimes and implied they were responsible for some of the murders. Berkowitz told Terry he only committed 3 of the 6 shootings, though he was present for all of them.
Whoa!
So Berkowitz later on says...
Someone else was there killing too.
Yeah.
Does he explicitly say these boys?
Yes, that's what he said.
Okay, wow.
Having said that, Terry, first of all, how much can you trust Berkowitz about anything?
Right.
Yeah.
And the idea that they were involved was already very much in the air because Terry had already, like, he wrote a book about it. Like, this was his life. Okay. Second main takeaway from the documentary that also has to do with this being part of a larger thing. The discovery of Devil's Cave in Yonkers. Terry discovered an abandoned pump house in...
What's a pump house?
Yeah, I don't like
for
that.
poop?
Is it for poop? Ben, answer the question.
Is it? I actually don't know.
Is a pump house for poop?
Let's find
This
out.
guy knows.
It sounds like it'd be pumping poop through the sewers.
Yeah, something sewagey.
That's a pump house. Or is it like a brothel?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh. Somewhere in Yonkers that was nicknamed Devil's Cave, where he believed Berkowitz first became indoctrinated into a cult. There were reports from neighbors that groups of people with hoods and torches would gather in the woods near the structure, and multiple people, including Berkowitz, said cult initiations happened there, where members would sacrifice dogs and drink their blood.
Oh.
Dogs kind of shows up a lot of times.
Why are they doing things to dogs? I don't want leave the dog out of this.
It's like it's like an area where water gets like pumped for irrigation.
Water
or, like,
with
for
poop in it.
spas.
Yeah, it's poop water. That's poop water.
Okay.
While investigating Devil's Cave, Terry discovered that it was mere steps from Berkowitz's single-room apartment. He also found satanic symbols covering the walls of the cave and German Shepherd carcasses in the nearby woods.
Oh.
To Terry, this was proof of satanic cult activity going on near Berkowitz, and further fueled his theory that the cult, which he determined was called the Children, were involved in the killings.
Whoa, could they have been police? Because police always have those type of dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, German Shepherd.
Look at that.
Yeah, I did not see anything about that, but no, I don't
It's a
know.
theory, and it's a pretty good one.
It's a good theory.
Yeah, but don't they like keep track of those dogs? Like
Yeah.
one day the dog's not, and they're like, "Where's Scruff?"
That's
You
true.
know, we got a job for him. He's not showing up for work today.
That's true.
Maybe the dog's in the cult.
The other thing was that in the letters, there's a lot of like satanic symbols and all the stuff that we've seen in previous episodes. So, I mean, like, the guy was definitely, I mean, he was definitely fucked up, but I think he was definitely part of maybe something.
There was something else going on.
Yeah. Okay, so the third thing, cult connections to Charles Manson, Robert de Grimston, and Scientology.
Good for Scientology getting in there.
Yeah. Occult research often winds into endless loops and chasms of connections, which haunted Terry the longer he worked on the Son of Sam case. The cult Terry determined was operating in Yonkers, the Children, had ties to Scientology and the West Coast. The Children was an offshoot of a cult called the Process Church of the Final Judgment, a group formed in Britain during 1966. Leaders, and that's this guy Robert Grimston and Mary McLean, defected from a British division of L. Ron Hubbard's Church of Scientology and brought their satanic teachings to the US in the early 70s. The group eventually splintered into smaller factions, each with different names but a similar core belief, that their satanic and murderous practices could bring about the end of the world. So his investigation is saying that it's tied to this, and then finally he gets to Manson. So so Manson murders, by the way, about a decade earlier, late 60s instead of late 70s. Terry reasoned that's how the Children ended up in Yonkers and in Berkowitz's backyard. He also discovered proof that de Grimston and Charles Manson attended a party together in California in the late 60s, and theorized that meeting de Grimston influenced Manson's apocalyptic visions of a race war that he used to incite his followers into murdering 5 people in the summer of 1969.
Damn. What a time to be alive.
I mean, what a rough era.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Halloween?
That first murder that maybe had something to do.
Oh god, I was waiting for it to come back to that.
No.
No, okay, no. Silly me. I was like trying the whole time. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, and how does Halloween?
Halloween is an entryway into.
Oh, that was just a little. Like, there's a little prologue, unrelated.
It is.
So we're doing Son of Sam. That's what.
That's the Son of Sam.
We're like 40 minutes.
This episode's done.
Well, because I thought this was a prelude to something else.
No. So
No,
the only
no,
reason,
no.
the reason why I mentioned that murder because it was done on Halloween. So the way that I got into it was that I was looking up Halloween mysteries, and one of them was this murder, which has still not been solved. And the thing is that Berkowitz seemed to know about the murder. If he really did, that shows that there are other people involved in this whole thing. It's not because the story is that Berkowitz was a Ted Bundy. He was just a serial killer who acted alone. That was a sick guy, and just
Yeah.
Is that true though? What do you think?
I don't think so. No,
No, I
Wow.
think that, I agree.
I don't, and I think that.
Well, that's kind of 6 people from 3 people. That's an embarrassing number.
But also, you got to see these police sketches. They don't look like him.
They
Can we
look
see
like the
them?
other guys.
Yeah, let me get.
Let's pull them up.
Chris, pull
Yeah.
those up.
Go ahead and
Chris,
pull
pull
those
those up. Stop
What am I
working,
pulling
Chris.
up?
Stop working, Chris, please.
Just Son of Sam police sketches. There's one in particular where the guy has. Well, I can definitely show you Berkowitz. So this is what Berkowitz actually looked like.
Let's see.
Bloated.
Scary.
Big guy.
Oh, cross-eyed.
Here you go.
Whoa, they don't look like him at
That looks like
all.
an Asian.
Yeah, it does.
There might have been one.
That
that
looks like
kinda
a lady,
looked
These
too.
sketches are terribly drawn. Who was working for the police department?
Yeah, right? This is a joke.
They didn't have computers back then.
Yeah, Jesus.
Guess not.
Yeah, it does not look like our guy.
It's not like way off, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it's not good.
There's
Can we
also
see John and
creepy
Michael
stuff.
Carr?
There's also video of like when he was arrested and they brought him in and stuff, and he's like smiling.
No.
maniacally. It was rough.
Oh, look at that. That
No,
I
know that was a woman.
Yeah, it does very
Additionally, and
Are
now
you
it
looking
looks
at
like
the
one of
one
the
where the
brothers.
hair is like down over the forehead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's the other one. Yeah, and that does look like.
Very interesting.
Now we're just talking amongst ourselves.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
reactions
So
to
I'm gonna
things
get
that
to
no
the
one
last-
can see.
I'm gonna get
No,
to the
they've
last
been
thing.
Okay, well, what about the listeners? I guess fuck you guys.
Berkowitz's confession. The later episodes of Sons of Sam rely heavily on old footage from interviews between Berkowitz and Terry, especially clips where Berkowitz claims he didn't act alone. In the series, Berkowitz tells Terry he wasn't the person who pulled the trigger at all 6 murders, though he admits to being at all the crime scenes.
Okay.
So that part's a little weird because then also, like, maybe they did see him, but I guess they're just describing the person that killed them. Or not killed them, that tried to kill them. Besides linking the Carr brothers to the crimes, though, Berkowitz refused to tell Terry anything else about who was involved, which led Terry to further assume there were cult members still alive and willing to hurt anyone who told the truth.
Whoa.
Berkowitz also told Terry that when he joined the children, he had to give them pictures of his family members whom the cult promised to kill if he ever snitched.
Did he say why he decided to join the cult? Like, what's the purpose?
But he did snitch on the Carr brothers.
After they're dead.
Oh, okay.
They die. The thing I just read said that they died long after, but they didn't die long after he was arrested, after Berkowitz was arrested. The accidental, quote, murders.
So were you saying the cops, the mayor murders them?
No. I'm saying that they turned a blind eye on purpose.
But who do you think killed them?
I think that there was a larger culty type thing that the Carr brothers were also a part of. And like Nate was saying before, I don't think Berkowitz was the leader of the cult.
Right.
No, I think he was
an
mayor.
acolyte.
Yeah. Yes. Who also, it seems like they threatened if he didn't, well, if he snitched, but probably also if he didn't do some crimes.
Well, you gotta do a couple crimes if you want to stay in the group.
Sons of Sam director Joshua Zeman said he knows the names of the potential suspects, but didn't disclose them in the show. There's a preponderance of evidence to suggest that Berkowitz didn't act alone, Zeman said. I have been told the names of those individuals, some of whom are still alive. I think there's obviously enough doubt to suggest that it's worth looking into reopening the case. It was reopened at some point, but
We're not going to look into it. I won't say any names. Just keep an eye on President Joe Biden.
Oh, the other kind of interesting fact about it is that Berkowitz, like he was smiling and seemed to be like eating up the press and like all that stuff. So New York passed what's called the Son of Sam laws, and that's so that people in jail can't profit off of like publications and stuff. But that was the beginning.
She was making money off of that?
I guess. Off
Damn,
of,
that's fucked up.
Books or something.
Well, what was
I don't
he
know.
going to spend that money on?
crazy.
Cigarettes?
I don't know. I think hearing more about the fame aspect of it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
other states have passed similar
Well, that's like the
things.
similar thing too now is like, especially during like shootings and stuff, they'll post the victim and not the shooter because
Right,
they're
right.
going for attention.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's why it's so weird. Like John Wayne Gacy did all his paintings in prison, and people would buy them.
No,
yeah,
Stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's what the law was directed at.
yeah.
Well, that's deeply upsetting.
I know. What is
Why would you want a Wayne Gacy in your home?
I don't know. A lot
Well,
of
if
people
you need a
have
clown.
one.
Is that what he was doing, painting clowns?
No, John Wayne Gacy dressed up like a clown.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, but what
was he
were his
painting?
paintings like?
If you're gonna
Clowns.
pay attention for
He
real.
had clown paintings.
Is that what they were?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
For-
okay.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's scary.
I'm pretty sure.
Pull up a painting. I'm throwing up.
Let's see it, Gacy. Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know. We had big burritos in between these episodes.
Yeah, we did. They were pretty good though.
A lovely Gacy. What did you say? A Wayne Gacy.
Oh, who wants a Wayne Gacy?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
No. Is it like a self-portrait? Because wasn't he a clown guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, he was a clown, famously.
And he was Chicago. So this is New York's best and
And
brightest.
here I was upset that we didn't have one of these guys. Lo and behold. Oh no, I don't like that. Put that away. Clowns are fucked.
Yeah.
And I'm still upset that a woman asked me to be a clown.
Oh my God, that was the funniest thing ever. Did you ever do one of those gigs?
Do one of the clowns.com gigs? No, I didn't. Other than responding saying, this is my 13th reason. Why would you send this? I did not continue on with clowns.com.
They rejected him.
Although,
You
no,
could just
she
say
offered
that
me
you didn't get the
lead
gig.
role. She said lead role in our weekend shows. Fuck you.
Lead role?
Sure.
What does lead role mean? I thought
Lead
just one-
clown,
Are there
then.
multiple?
Lead clown.
Are there many clowns? It's an ensemble
Oh,
clown.
obviously never seen a clowns.com show.
That's a good point. What do you guys think? Did he act alone or not?
No.
No way. I mean, everything you said to me was to the contrary, so I would have no other.
I gave an objective, two-sided.
So no, it feels
because I strongly think.
I
it
also
does
looked
make
at that
sense.
picture of him. He had dumb face. He had a dumb-looking face, and I don't believe that somebody can go that long committing crimes and not get caught.
He worked
Yeah.
in a
Although-
post
He had someone
office.
helping him.
He worked at the post office. Why does the post office get such a bad rap? I feel
Yeah.
bad for mailmen because a lot of mailmen, by the way, men and women, sweet people. Every
Yeah.
time I see them, I'm like, hi. They're like, hi.
They're about to go postal, so
Postal.
be careful.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
Chris? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wait, what about going postal? They don't do that anymore.
No, but like
Kids do it in schools now.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
dark.
I don't think I know what going postal means. I'm just
Oh wait, going postal is like there was like a short time. I only think like one or two post people did it, but they just like showed up with a gun and just took everybody
Jesus.
out.
Who's everybody? In the post office?
Here, let's look it up.
Yeah, mailmen would do that.
Damn,
Those
going
are
to the
things.
post office is a chore enough. Now I gotta worry about
Maybe we
getting
should do that as an episode.
Well, is it a mystery? What was in the mail that made them do that?
Going postal.
That's funny.
There were
I mean,
also
it's not
some,
funny, but you know.
Yeah.
There were some connections too in the documentary, I think it was, where it's like he was a cab driver for a little while, and people thought that maybe there's a connection, like in his mind, to the movie Taxi Driver, which came out that year.
Whoa.
Because Taxi Driver is also about a guy who is a veteran that like just like snapped.
Yeah.
And a lot of the narration in Taxi Driver is kind of similar to some of the letters.
Oh,
that's so
sad.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, one of these things where it's like the movie informs how the guy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So going postal, the expression derives from a series of incidents from 1986 onward in which United States Postal Service workers shot and killed managers, fellow workers, and members of the police or general public in acts of mass murder. Between 1970 and 1997, more than 40 people were killed by then current and former employees in at least 20 incidences of workplace rage.
Jeez.
Why?
Post office.
Post
what
office.
was in the mail?
So the
Anthrax.
workplace rage idea is like I've just had enough of this job. Like
I
that's,
think so. I mean, I don't
mail
know all
never
the I don't
ends.
know all the ins and outs. I think it was just like maybe not. It was like a
Newman.
tough job at the time.
Yeah.
Because don't they say like dentists are very suicidal? Is
They
that, like,
do,
a-
yeah.
breath.
Comes with the job.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they
That's
say.
a big one. That's a big one for them. Dentists, post office, DMV probably.
Oh my
The
god.
dentist also's got the thing of like you're kind of. I mean, you're torturing people.
Yeah, nobody likes going to you.
Yeah.
People don't even consider you a real doctor.
Yeah.
And you're just inside people's fucking
There's gotta be
disgusting
a little
mouths
bit of
all
a-
day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, an ego blow.
You ever
People
see
are
the dentist for more than 30 seconds at a time, though, too? They always come
They
and be
just
like,
pop
hey,
in.
you're
The
good.
hygienist
See you
is doing the.
later.
Yeah.
The hygienist is the dentist.
Yeah.
The dentist is just the figurehead.
Yeah. He's a
He
figurehead.
is a figurehead.
That's right.
Well, the dentist is like the head chef. You know, the head chef's
Yeah.
not cooking all the meals. He's just looking at them before they go out.
Yeah, but
you
you
know,
buy that
He
he's
curates the menu and trains the staff.
No, I've
Is
never.
he doing that?
I've
I
never
don't even
been a
know.
Ramsey type of fucking dentist. Let me tell you that they're all Guy Fieri's.
They do call me constantly, telling me that I need to have another checkup.
And let me tell you something. We can see, and we're ugly with them.
I do not have dental, so I don't know what you want from me.
Neither do I. Just brush harder. That's my solution. Is that the episode? What
That
happens
is the
now?
episode. Yeah. No. I mean, what do you guys? I mean, unless you guys have final thoughts on it. So it's
I
a
don't-
crazy, tale.
I think that would be insane, and it would be really upsetting if this cult was still active.
Oh yeah, do you guys think that there's like a cabal in New York just killing fucking golden retrievers and shit?
We don't say cabal enough on this podcast.
It is a good word. It shows up. I feel like it shows up a lot in these kinds of things.
Yeah.
But
That would be fun. Where would they go? Soho
The
House?
pump houses.
It all comes back to Soho House.
All right. Like, subscribe.
Thanks. See you later.
Stars.
Bye.
Stars.
Stars.
Stars.